ECW Wrestlepalooza 1997. I mean, holy shit. The show was crazy. Arguably the most significant ECW show up to this point in their history. We got the end of legendary rivalries. We got title matches all throughout the card. We got debuts. We got title changes. We got some of the most infamous segments to ever grace this great sport. It took a few months, but here in mid-97, ECW is cooking. So let's get in the kitchen and eat it. It's the Apron Bump Podcast.
Yeah. It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock this. Let's get it started. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Howdy, folks. How we doing? Welcome to the Apron Bump Podcast. I'm your host, the hardest part of the ring, Kyle. How we doing today, everybody? We got a doozy on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. That was no hyperbole to open up this show. This is a very crazy show. Both the event we're talking about and the podcast episode gets a little dicey. But it's a fun time. We got Wrestlepalooza 97, and we talk about it in the show, so I won't get too deep into it, but the show is not on Peacock. And I was worried that maybe it was like, oh, is it just like a house show, fan cam kind of thing? But man, there are other reasons why I think it is not on Peacock, and we'll get into that. We got Terry Funk here defending the world title against Chris Candido. Was supposed to be Stevie Richards, but it wasn't, and that's a whole other thing in itself, which we get into. Stevie Richards, it may or may not be done with Extreme Championship Wrestling. Jeez Louise. BWO was so hot, and now, I don't know, but that's a thing. We got a weird main event for the tag team titles where somebody has a broken fucking leg. The TV title is all of the shenanigans involved. Shane Douglas, Taz, Chris Chetty, everybody is some of the most fun promo back and forths, and then a fun match to follow that. We got the continuation. Rob Van Dam at this point in the company is probably the hottest thing going at this point. He, in the timeline of wrestling, Rob Van Dam just maybe a week or two before this showed up on Monday Night Raw with Jerry Lawler. He was like, Jerry Lawler's guy, his representation, his representative, or his mentor, mentee, whatever it is, right? It's crazy to see 1997 RVD in 1997 Raw. We get into all that, and that has major implications on the show. May or may not be the best segment of the year. Speaking of bests of the year, worsts of the year, just the year in general, make sure you stay tuned to the end of the podcast where the hardest promotion battle of 1997 continues, where we pit ECW up against WCW and WWF. Looking at this point in time in 1997, we see who's doing the best in 1997. We see who's doing the worst in 1997. We'll look at the matches, the characters, the storylines, the overall vibes of the show. We get into it all. We'll grade the show. That'll factor in. We got a whole point system. Whichever company has the highest score at the end of 1997 will win a championship belts purchase by yours truly. As you can see behind me, we got the old WWF Intercontinental title, because WWF was the hardest. In 1996, who will be hardest? Who will be the most erect, the most turgid? In 1997, my cats, I think, are fucking each other up. I'll deal with that later. But spoiler alert, there's definitely going to be some updates to the scoreboard here. There's at least one new best, like in terms of either a match, a wrestler, a character, or a segment. At least one of those, you're going to find that on this show. And I'll let you kind of try to figure out as we go along here. But Stay tuned to the end of the podcast for that. What else? What else? Follow me at Apron Bump on all the social medias. If you like this type of episode, you like ECW, if you just like mid-90s, late 90s wrestling, I suggest you go to apronbump.com. You go to the episodes tab, and you can select whatever promotion or era you'd like to hear me chronologically recap with various podcasts, guests, wrestlers, people in the industry, just some buddies of mine. Feel free to check out whatever, whatever timeline you'd like. You can select ECW, or you can select Wrestling Wars of the 90s, which puts all three of these companies into one timeline, and you can chronologically relive through it or live through it for the first time, as am I at this moment. It's a good old time. Speaking of a good old time, join the Discord. That's a fun old time. But even that's all, folks. An even funner time, a funner person, a funner bald Asian Juss from the GETCHO podcast returns to the show. So unnecessary. Returns to the show. Always a good time with my boy Justino. Go check out the GETCHO podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as YouTube and all that stuff. They go live every week talking all the major scuttlebutt in wrestling, but they do a lot of fun segments. They do a lot of like comedy inspired or like pop culture comedy. Like they blend it all, and they have like a fun variety show kind of thing. And it's just a couple guys having fun talking about wrestling and in a truly entertaining way. There's a lot of podcasts out there that are just like, well, let's get down to brass tacks. Here's the serious. Here's where we got to get into this. Here, I'm right about this. So your guys are. The GETCHO podcast, they don't lollygag with any of that kind of stuff. They just have fun, which is a rare commodity nowadays. So go check them out. Like I said, wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as YouTube. I'll put all of their info in the description below. Shall we get to it? I think we shall. ECW Wrestlepalooza 1997 with myself and Juss from the GETCHO podcast.
How's it been, man? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah, it has been a while. Was it the sold out thing we did a while ago?
Dude, it was Miss WCW. Remember the beauty pageant?
Oh,
come on.
Want to just talk about that again, maybe?
Dude, come on. I mean,
revisit
I feel like
it.
The runner-up should have been the winner. You know,
it's like one of those things. Like the more you watch it, you like find something new every time. So I feel like. It's like a good movie.
You know, you hear people out there, they're like, man, did you think Ariel was fine? Did you think Snow White was fine? And I'm like, they're like animated characters.
Yeah, so I'd say like I mean, some people are into that. I mean, it's a whole porn category.
I mean, I joke around, you joke, we joke, right? We have a humor thing going on, but like people take it further when they talk about the X-Men girlies, like Storm and Rogue. It's like, hold on. I mean, I'm just fucking around here. I'm like not serious. I mean, I know she's thick, but it's a Saturday morning cartoon, y'all.
Yeah, it's not really peak horny hours Saturday morning.
Dude, I mean, it's not even up yet.
No, it's still like, you've been beaten it senseless for, maybe 8 hours previous. So We're still recovering.
It's like a soggy French fry, at the bottom
of the
what the fuck did it call
the bag?
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of French fry do you think your penis most looks like?
Ooh. Yeah. Okay, well, like it depends. It depends during the day, right? Right now, it's like a steak fry. Since you showed up and I seen you in my my eyes and I get to look at you, you look at me.
Please.
It's like a steak fry right now. But most days, crinkle.
Oh, not like a shoestring fry, I think they're called like the really small, like the.
I think so.
Skinny, I guess.
Dude, by the way, do you like those? You ever seen like those chips where they look like they're wood chips? They look like they're wood chips, right? But they're actual chips.
Right. Like the sweet potato chips.
Yeah, they're like long potato chips.
I don't know about those, but I had these veggie. So there's veggie straws.
Oh, I've seen them. Yes.
And then there's veggie sticks. I forget. I think it's veggie sticks. They're like the shoestring variety, and they're way better
Okay.
for whatever reason. So I think I'm pro shoestring. If that's what the question is.
Okay, I'll remember that next time I make a care package for you. You know,
Right? Send me a picture of your penis and some shoestrings and see what so I can compare. I appreciate it. I mean, that's the kind of care that I need.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. You know, saying TLC. You know,
TLC, tables, ladders, chairs. Speaking of which, you know who had some of those? ECW. Wrestlepalooza, man. Did you get a chance to check out this little ditty?
dude, shout out to you because I'm like, wait, why is it not on the cock? Like everything's here. You know what I'm saying? Even regular ECW TV, which is passable, is not is not here. I don't know why, for whatever reason, it's not on here.
So I think, because I had the same concern too when you mentioned, you said you're like, is it on Peacock? And I looked and it wasn't. I was like, oh no, is this like a? Because I've only ran into that situation once. Like you said, all of the ECW stuff's up there, but the only time that I tried to find something and it wasn't up there, it was like a fan cam show. Like it was like a house show kind of deal.
Right. Oh, right.
So I was like, oh shit, is it gonna be one of those shows? But it ends up being like the complete opposite. I mean, probably one of the most significant. I don't know. I mean, maybe this is me.
A portion of it was like a fan cam, and then it picked up. It picked up at some part.
Yeah, I mean, the quality is still, it's a little sketchy. Let's not. It doesn't
I mean,
fucking,
We're not even hitting megapixels. We're not even you know what I'm saying?
No. This isn't when Ezekiel Jackson was champion. We're not at that quality yet. But the content of the show, I thought was pretty damn good. What about you? Just overall?
Overall, listen, it took me a few times to watch this because I'm like, okay, this feels like a regular ECW TV show. And then when it starts picking up with the whole thing with Taz and Sabu, obviously the Raven and Tommy Dreamer stuff. So what I'm going to say is probably like, I don't know, the hardcore ECW fan may hate me for saying this, but I'm going to give it a 7.5. Only because when you look back at this time, you think of the Invasion, Barely Legal, right? And then you think of like later on with the Heat Wave 97. I just feel like those are like more of heavy hitters when it comes to the beginning of ECW Prime. And I on a positive note, I'll say this is underrated.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess from my perspective, because I've been watching all of these shows chronologically since the beginning, since 94, and there are some dire times. Like early mid-90s ECW. Oh, dude, come on. Who's the big fucking Italian guy? There's Sal Baloma. There's just a bunch of like bullshit guys running around. I
think Jimmy Snuka was even there too, right? At that time.
Former ECW champion. That was like way early, but yeah. So it's been a sludge for the most part getting through this ECW. And this feels like maybe because this is the first show after, like the first like super show after Barely Legal. Yeah. So I feel like they're kind of entering a new era here. And we see that like with a lot of things that happen on this show. There's a lot of things of significance that happen on the show in comparison to past shows that I've watched.
Oh, for sure.
Now, if we're talking like just the pure wrestling quality, like it's an ECW show. It's kind of, par for the course. Although there is one match on the show.
Lately, Dynamite hasn't been good. I watched this over Dynamite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, when did I watch this last night? So I watched this over, what's on Sunday?
TNA. This past Sunday? Sunday there was nothing, but they had TNA had a sacrifice. Collision was Saturday, which have been good. Collisions
wasn't there like a Sunday Collision? Wasn't that a thing? Wasn't it like the March Madness Saturday and then the Slam Dunk Sunday and the fucking
All-Star Game weekend?
what's the hook? What's it called? The hook, was it Magic Irving? No, Skyhook. Skyhook Sunday. Skyhook Sunday or something, right?
No, I don't remember anything happened this past Sunday, but yeah, I mean, I like you said, like it's definitely an underrated show when you talk about ECW shows.
Well, there's a lot that I like, but there's some that I don't like, some that I do like, and that's why we're here to talk about it. I guess let's
discuss. Let's debate.
Let's dive into it. Okay,
everybody settle down. Digress here. Let's digress.
So the ethos and the pathos of Rick Rude's mustache. What thoughts?
You know what? When you think of super thick mustache, Rick Rude's mustache has to be right there. I mean, it's on a gradient scale, it's 9.8 for me. It's almost perfect. It's almost perfect. It's almost
we're
perfect.
bringing in statistics or whatever the hell. I like it. I like it. He's got his spreadsheets all open. I mean, we're here to get
I mean,
into
he
it.
looks like the stepdad, like the quintessential stepdad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm taking over now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a better father than your past dad. Like, he's still got the body, right? He's still got the stance, still got the look. So, I mean, come on.
Underrated, by the way.
Underrated.
When it comes to mustache rides, of course you need the mustache, but you also need like this section right here. This is what I lack, right? Because Rick Rude does this little number right here, and for whatever reason, it feels like it's just it's made for cunnilingus.
Oh yeah,
and then, so.
I mean, he does have that 1970s porn vibe. You know what I'm saying? Ron Jeremy's esque type. You know.
He looks like he pees really loud.
Yeah.
Like he has one of those thick ones where it's just like a cannon.
Right. And the stature is solid. You ever seen one of those guys that have just a solid statue when they're like urinating?
Oh yeah. What do you think about this? Guys at the urinal that like have their hands at their hips while they're peeing. Thoughts?
I mean, they're a territory type of male. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to come in their section, which I understand. Right. You know what I'm saying? Your space, your space, your comfort, you know, and I'll wait. With me, I don't use the urinals. I go to the stall. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But you pull your pants all the way down to your ankles and leave the door open,
Hey,
right?
Listen, I'm not gonna let everyone know what I do in the stall now. That's just a little confidential. Right. After the show, we can discuss and share photos.
Yeah. We'll cut that out. We won't let anybody know. That's fine.
Yeah. No, you can let them know. I mean, just not right, you know.
Not so bluntly.
Not for free.
There's a price for everything. Well, anyways, Rick Rude's here. Show opens up. Huge ECW chants as per usual for this era. Just, I mean, when was the last time you watched an ECW show, by the way?
Oh man. I think it was Guilty as Charged 98, but that was like 2-3 years ago. But that was like to me, I feel like that's like I feel like that's an easy cop out, right? Because I feel like in '98, like everyone who is into wrestling knows ECW. So like to see, kind of like a crowd that doesn't that's kind of like in the hub of before they become famous.
The groundswell, yeah.
It was just crazy. I mean, it's everything that people talk about. I mean, it's ECW. I can't just imagine how much it smells in there though. But I mean, other than that.
It's gotta be so hot too, hot and sticky.
Dude, there's people in sweaters.
It's fucking May. What are we doing? Yeah. Was it like just a cold May evening?
Like long sleeve, shirts.
They feel like putting deodorant on, I guess. Just went with that route.
Dude.
I don't know, man.
But the crowd was hot. I mean, this is everything you asked for in the ECW crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Right out the gate, yeah. I mean, the way it opens up, it's ECW chants. You got Joey Styles in the middle of the ring. Dude. It just brings you right back.
Dude.
Joey brings out his commentary partner because he's usually by himself, but now he's got old Rick Rude by his side. At least for like the last half of the show, I feel like he wasn't like in the first couple matches. I don't know. They run down the show. Rick makes Joey do the little hip swivel. Kinda. I don't know. Man. Joey Styles, I feel like low key could put a hole in a wall. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, that people like Joey Styles, like you don't want to see them angry.
Yeah.
Like it's always like the super nice person that you never want to see them angry. They'll go to the extremes.
Well, that's why he's here. I mean, it's not called melancholy championship wrestling.
I knew you would like that.
You always come with the cleverness. That's why I bring you here.
Come on now. You bring it out.
Hey, man. Well, speaking of bringing it out, Stevie Richards is out. He was originally scheduled to fight for the world title. But my man's allegedly has a spinal injury. Dude. And he is unable to wrestle. And Chris Candido is going to take a spot, which we'll talk later. But do you remember this at all? Like at the time? Because Richards wrestles 5 months after this in WCW, so I don't know what all the hubbub's about.
Because in Barely Legal, he was in the championship match, right?
And that's just by Wikipedia. That's where he got injured.
Right.
I guess it was when he got a guardrail slammed on his back and neck, and he had to get surgery or whatever. But I guess it wasn't too serious.
Yeah, because I mean, like the what he was diagnosing himself, I was like, how are you even standing? You know, you're talking about like spinal. You're talking about like all these injuries. Right. Like it's like you clearly like bend and walked into the ring, like all of that shit hurt. You know?
So I think this might be a stretch. I'm wondering, was this like a parody of the Losing My Smile thing?
Yes, I was gonna say that, dude. Yes.
I don't think it was like on the nose enough though. Like he wasn't like
it wasn't. No,
he would have like came out with like a brown jacket or whatever and said something of similar, like a similar line, but it didn't seem close enough to be a parody. But it reminded me of that for sure.
No, because he mimics Shawn Michaels moves right in the BWO.
And he looks like him. Yeah, he does a super kick, the Stevie kick.
The Stevie kick, right? Everything that he does is very like, mocking Shawn Michaels. And so like that's the first thing I thought about. Because like the way he spoke and it was all slow and he was trying to cry like Shawn Michaels did.
Yeah.
And it was earlier that same year in 97 too. So
yeah, we're like 3 months after that. Yeah. So it's very similar. Yes. I don't know. I would say maybe not directly parodying it, but I think he's trying to like set up a future storyline for himself, maybe. But he leaves ECW, so maybe not actually.
Yeah, it's adjacent. It's adjacent.
I don't know. Oh, call in if you know. Call the hotline. Get your parents' permission first. But yeah, so he goes. He's pretty much done with ECW, which is crazy. For whatever reason, I thought the BWO had more longevity.
You asked me earlier if I remember any of this. I remember this point in the ECW documentary that came out, the double disc, the Rise and Fall that came out,
right?
Which I got for Charlie's birthday for Secret Santa a while ago.
Nice.
Yeah, because we're homies. And
oh, you know him?
Oh,
you guys tight like that?
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
That's not what he tells me.
Yeah.
Don't listen to our TNA
He's
episode.
Of a different type. He's thinking of a different type.
Oh, see, he gets those confused. Yeah.
No, but I remember that point is when because basically Raven's going to WCW at this time.
Yes.
And I think they wanted to bring Steven Richards in also, right? And I think
they did briefly.
Was that okay? And I remember that's where he becomes part of the flock for a little while.
Right.
So that period, I think that's what we're in right now.
Yes, because Raven, and we'll touch on that when we get to it, but this will be Raven's last match as well. So again, just more major happenings here in the ECW.
Yes.
But speaking of major, fucking Chris Chetty, man.
Dude, come on. Conchetti. Bring out the Conchetti.
Conchetti. Oh man. Chetty. Fuck. There's something else there. Cheddar cheese.
You could do Chetty Alfredo.
Chetty Alfredo. He looks like Chetty. He looks like his wrestling name should be Chetty Alfredo with that fucking hair. By the way, his hair. The crowd is chanting, "What Kramer or Let's Go Kramer."
Yeah,
he looks exactly like Kramer. But fast forward to 2025, and that hair is back in style. So he knew better than us.
You're not considered there's so many Tinder profiles with that same hairstyle.
Right. I mean, I haven't been on the men's side of Tinder in a while, but
Me neither.
Yeah.
But we did do a heel Tinder sweaty session on GETCHO podcast, so check that out.
I liked it. But man, we got a ECW TV title match on our hands here. We got the champion Shane Douglas with Francine taking on Chris Chetty. Francine comes out wearing like a snake skin jumpsuit.
Dude, I'm just sure wore the same outfit. At least the pants.
Right. Do you remember what Joey Styles said in relation to her outfit?
No, because what did he say?
I'd like to see her shed. Yeah.
You gotta give him credit, man. You gotta give him credit. I don't actually. So
they're out here. This is pretty much just a glorified squash match. Shane's like, well, first of all, he like looks over at Rick Rude and is like, "Hey, old man, this is how you do it. Cut the fucking music," because Rick Rude, he's like, "Cut the music" when his show started, and Shane's like, "I'm add fucking to it." Which, by the way, we're gonna touch on this more too. I think this is why Wrestlepalooza 1997 is not on Peacock, because this show is just laced with profanity from start to finish, to the point where you can't bleep out everything. Otherwise, it'd just be it'd be a silent movie.
True.
So I'm guessing that's why, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you think about the crowd chants and them cutting promos, it's just like it's hard to beat because it's like within a phrase or within the sentence.
Yeah.
But
she's a whore. She's a whore. That's what they're chanting here. Right, at Francine.
Well, I feel like also they have also had left some stuff like that in the in Peacock, like because if you watch some of the ECW hardcore TV episodes, they're almost at the same level, you know.
Yeah, they're really inconsistent with what they bleep and don't bleep.
Yeah, I mean, like I think like on one of the hardcore TVs, they were chanting like "slut" for a while for
crack whore.
Yeah, even worse. Yep.
You fat fuck, which somebody gets
right.
that chanted at them in the show as well. So don't know, but match gets underway, and Kramer's going at it. Chetty Alfredo, franchise before the match. He has the mic. He's like, "Hey, Chris, we could go all around the arena, beat each other with chairs and whatnot, but let's just have a good, clean wrestling match." And who's the first fucking guy to pull out a chair in this match? Of course, it's Shane Douglas. Wailing Chetty in the ring with the chair, and Chetty tries to fight back, hits a bulldog on the setup chair, goes for a springboard moonsault, misses, lands on his feet. Looked pretty nice, but he missed.
Dude, it was actually surprising for sure.
For this era, it's not something you see every day. So shout out Chetty Alfredo.
Come on, man.
But then Shane Douglas hits perhaps one of the worst finishers of all time, the Bailey to belly, for the win. I think Bailey even does a better belly to belly.
Yes, she does. She got more air. There's more oomph when she slams the person.
It's just it's not even a suplex. He just kind of brings them down. He like hugs them and just brings them down to the mat and canoodles them to sleep. And that's how he gets the win.
Right.
But maybe that's smart.
My thing about Francine and Shane Douglas is like I feel like they were a very underrated power couple, right? When you think of like the championships and the promotion at the time. And I also feel, I don't know about you, but I feel like Triple H took parts of this to make the Stephanie McMahon Helmsley era.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. Because the Shane Douglas Triple H comparisons have been made before, and that's what I always think of. But I never thought about the whole duo, the tandem comparisons.
Obviously Stephanie McMahon is a much more better promo than Francine. But the whole sticking up for Triple H and because Francine does that a couple of times, and like if you keep watching when he becomes a world champion, she gets involved, much like Stephanie McMahon does.
Right. Well, that's what women are there for in wrestling in the 90s, to be meat shields. You know what I mean? Boots, wrestling boots, knee pads, toots. Get out there and have a cat fight. Mash clams. I don't know. Any other comments on the Chetty stir in his failed TV title endeavors?
I was like, I didn't expect much from Conchetti, but I was like, this guy can go. This guy's not bad. Also, further did some independent research on him. He is Taz's cousin, legitimate cousin.
Oh, I think I heard that somewhere, but I forgot about that. Oh.
So I believe he was trained by Taz too, and obviously because of the Taz bloodline, he is Hook's uncle.
Oh, so do we get a Chris Chetty cameo in AEW?
I don't see why we haven't got one. To be honest,
it's everybody's
it's overdue. It's long overdue now.
Just making sure he's still alive. Okay, he is. All right. He used to go by GQ Gorgeous.
GQ Gorgeous. Yes. And it's something like VG Lady or Lada, something like that. It was like a weird name.
Chris Van Delay.
There you go. Yes.
Do you know where he's billed from?
Where?
Mount Climax. Ugh. Well,
come on.
Okay. Put that on a t-shirt. Man.
Hey, come on. Everyone's
Chris
gonna get
Jetty.
a little wet. Everyone's gonna get a little wet.
Shout out. Yeah, I mean that it's not dry Alfredo, it's a sauce. It's melted. Yeah. It's not the shaky cheese. No.
Nah, it's not that. It's not that.
Oh man, but speaking of shaky cheese, you know who likes shaky cheese? Italians. Speaking of Italians, we got the FBI here. Little Guido. And Tracy Smothers.
Little G.
Taking on the Pitbulls, of course, the team of Pitbull number 1 and Pitbull number 2. Man.
Dude.
A lot going on here. Thoughts?
Dude, when you see, this is the part where I was talking about fan cam right here. This match, even though I feel like I've always respected Little Guido, right? I've always respected him and his work and everything that he does. Nunzio, exactly. Because he is kind of like a GETCHO certified type of wrestler, right? Like he can wrestle, he knows what to do. He's an in-ring general to some extent, and he brings the humor, right? Because he knows he's just there to entertain, right? So like I feel like he doesn't get enough credit like he should. Because especially in this match, he was like the only one bringing out a 5-star wrestling match.
You don't think the Pitbulls were
no
bringing the finesse to this one?
No, the Pitbulls were definitely high on on whatever illegals they were definitely sniffing or using a syringe or possibly liquid-fied versions.
Oh, Alfredo.
Yes, none of them got me like, oh yeah, they can wrestle. All due respect to the Pitbulls.
Pitbull Bald, which I think is number 2, right? Yeah. So Pitbull 2 is actually, look, he's not good, but he has this like Goldberg kind of vibe to him. Like he had a bit of a singles run.
I see it.
Because Pitbull number 1 was out with a neck injury for a while. So Pitbull 2 had a little run. I think he was even TV champion at some point. He was always like kind of chaotic and clunky, but it kind of worked with his style. So I think he kind of showed some promise, but I think them as a tag team is probably where they should be.
Nah, this is definitely like you don't want to see who let the dogs out.
Yes. Shout out Baha Men. Right?
Is it Baha Men or?
Yeah, it's Baha Men. What else do you think Baha Men
is
do?
it?
Wait, did they let them out? Let the
Well,
dogs
I'm
out?
just
I don't know.
they
were the ones asking.
To be honest, because this is an independent research for anyone. There's actually been a lot of like court cases on who actually made that song.
Oh, is this true?
Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
Is there somebody else that claimed to have made?
Oh, there's
song?
like a lot of people.
A lot of people were talking about who let the dogs out.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that said that they made that song first. This is legit. This is legit as
a lot of linear thinking.
I know this sounds funny, but
no, I believe you.
Yeah,
I believe you.
Yeah, we'll talk about it soon on GETCHO.
I mean you
and me and Charlie and Garth.
That could be a whole episode dedicated to the Baha Men saga
and Pitbulls.
Oh man, a whole dog related episode. I feel like that's something you guys have already done, but
we'll do like a doggy style type of thing.
This is a reminder.
The doggy style prompted your Alexa. Is that what you've named her? Fuck, now I did it. God damn it. All right. It's Alexa, apparently, not Siri. Shit, I did it again. Cocksucker! All right, let her get it out of her system. Still babbling. I'll plug my router into or whatever.
Hey, you give them that USB, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Well, this match here, Pitbull's FBI, I think it was more like I was more infatuated with what was going on outside of the ring. Because Tommy Rich is there. He's like their manager.
Yeah.
He's getting bit. Well, first, before like they're doing their ring introductions, and Tommy gives both of his boys the Italian cheek kisses. You know how they do. The Philadelphia crowd did not respond kindly to this. Do you recall a certain chant that they were hurling towards Tommy Rich?
Go ahead.
No, I forgot. My sound cut out. My sound cut out. I couldn't get it. Can you remind me?
I forgot. Did they say something like "you're a fag" or something like that? Right?
By the way, you did that to me last time we talked about people calling each other faggots. Was gold dust, and I didn't even realize it in the time. You were like, "My sound cut out." I don't know what were they chanting at gold dust. I was like, "Oh, they were chanting faggot." Oh, did you not hear? I was listening back. I was like, "Oh, you stupid dumb idiot."
Damn.
But yeah, they are not very kind towards Tommy Rich. Perhaps he is a homosexual. Who knows?
Perhaps. Also, too, when they come out to the entrance, right? It's kind of like crooked, right? The lane that they have to get to the ring.
Yes.
Okay. And there's like this pole, right? And there's this little girl in that section. She's not in the crowd. She's just outside the barricade.
Right.
And I don't know why is she there.
She was like in the aisleway.
She was in the aisleway.
Was she was she not Francine?
No,
she sure?
had to be somebody's friend, or I don't know if she was part of the ring crew. She definitely didn't dress like a ring crew. She was wearing like a long sleeve shirt, white, blue denim jeans. I'm like, is this girl like not 21? That's why they have her outside the guardrails, or like, I don't know.
Could have been the medical team, maybe, perhaps.
The medical team.
Which, by the way, they have a name. Do you remember what their medical team was called?
No, what's their name?
Damage Control.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is, and look how far they've got. It's a group now.
So what we're saying is that this was Io Sky, I think, is who you were talking about.
It was the guy. It was the Dakota guy.
That's right. I forgot they don't allow Japanese people in this arena. So we got wrestling happening. Crowd is chanting. They're not paying attention to the match. They're just yelling, "You fat fuck" at Tommy Rich. At some point, he rips off his shirt, which I don't think was a good strategy because it didn't do him any favors. I don't think. And inside the ring, you got FBI doing their like Tweedledee, Tweedledum act, which is fun. It was fun, and the Pitbulls just shit can them both, and super bomb to Little Guido, and they get the win. So I don't know. I thought this kind of maximized each of these guys as like,
sure.
You have the comedy guys, and you have the guys that are all business, and they take care of the comedy guys. So they were both allowed to shine in their own way, but it was kind of a throwaway. Leather though, the Pitbulls and leather. What are your thoughts on leather?
I don't know how much do they rank and stank when they go back in the locker room, because like that type of leather is not breathable around the crotch area, so I could just only imagine. Do
you have a lot of experience wearing leather singlets?
From just what I've been emailed, yeah.
the email list you've subscribed to, leathersinglets.com. Yeah. I'm with you. Speaking, leather, I mean, that does, it doesn't leave a lot of room for your balls. Speaking of balls, we got Balls Mahoney.
Yo.
And the Sandman taking on the Dudley Boys. With, there's so much going on.
Dude,
here.
This is crazy. Sandman's entrance, man. Where do you rank it?
Dude, it's up there. For whatever reason, this one in particular got my cockles all goosed because it's him and enter Sandman hits the speakers,
of course.
Which is it's iconic. But then the Sandman comes out with his cane, Balls comes out beside him with his chair, and it's like, man, this is fucking. This
they
is
look
ECW
like a bunch of badasses, right? Yeah.
So yeah, it's up there. I don't know where do you hold it?
It's definitely. My top 5 always changes, right? But it's definitely respectfully, it's definitely in the top 15.
Right? There's a lot of entrances out there.
Oh, dude, we can talk days and days, but yeah, it's definitely up there. Especially the one when they're at the Hammerstein Ballroom, right? And he's he's like on top of the one of the guardrails, and he's smashing the beer. You just see it splash everywhere, or the ones where he's on the balcony. That's just like very
busts himself open before the match.
Exactly, and he's wearing the Zubaz with the Sean Kemp Kamikaze too. So like.
His shoe game is strong.
Hey, listen, but you got to give him credit, right? Because a lot of people who were just now wearing sneakers wrestling, Sandman did it first, or one of the ones that did it first.
Probably, yeah. I think he just kind of showed up in whatever he showed up to the arena wearing.
Came out the dryer, whatever he came out the dryer.
Whatever Sears had on clearance is what he showed up in. So,
but I will say. Balls Mahoney, underrated, man. Underrated. I always enjoyed Balls Mahoney when he was wrestling. I thought that he was a guy that was like that can really run the ropes. He was really smooth. Obviously, he wasn't like the most athletic, right?
Right.
But I thought when it came down to like, brawling and putting on a match and on a promo, I thought he was great.
Yeah, especially now with this, because Balls Mahoney's still pretty new to ECW, only a few months into it, but he's already like become a cult favorite with the chair shots, and that's just that's his thing now. Is he swings a chair, that's his finisher, is hitting the guy with the chair. So it's like he's got it pretty easy. It doesn't have to take a lot of bumps. So, but how familiar are you with Hack Meyers, if at all?
Not that much.
So he was an icon in ECW in the mid-90s, right?
Okay.
I mean, just Mount Rushmore guy, Hack Meyers. When I say Mount Rushmore, he's all four faces. He was another guy, not super athletic, kind of built similarly to Balls here. And whenever he would like punch somebody, the crowd would go Shah, because he was the Shah of ECW. So they would go Shah with every strike. And Hack Meyers, I don't think is around anymore, but I think Balls has kind of fallen into that position.
Into that
now
lane. Okay.
Balls every strike. So now they've just replaced Hack Meyers, which is disrespectful, but don't know. No, you can't grieve forever, I guess.
Well, I mean, like, there's always that saying, like, it's time to pass the ball on. So literally, it kind of makes sense.
Come on, everybody says that. Gotta pass the ball on. That's a phrase everybody says every day.
Right. I dropped the ball. Not Mahoney.
Right.
He picked it up.
He never drops it.
He picked it up.
Yeah. He tosses it and it goes through the hoop.
He juggles.
A lot of balls in the air. Let's talk about the Dudleys here for a second. I have a lot of questions.
Go ahead.
So we got the Dudleys here, obviously Bubba and Devon, and they're accompanied by Big Dick, Sign Guy Dudley, and Joel Gertner, who is like their personal ring announcer. This whole shtick in the beginning, it's a little. So I have here. Let me pull this up here.
Go for it.
I have a clip because this is the only time throughout the show that anything was censored. And I'm not totally sure what was said here. I think maybe we can dive into this and see if we can figure it out. Maybe read some lips, perhaps. I don't know. So we got Bubba, we got the Dudleys in the ring. They're jaw jacking with the crowd. Let's see. Blow me. So blow me, and then he calls him something. What do you think he called him? Or maybe he said something else. Maybe he said Chris Benoit or something.
Yeah.
Blow me, you silly goose, probably?
No, it's got to be something more vulgar, something of that time, 97.
Yeah, what was the hip insult?
Blow me, you fucking retard. Would that be 97?
Oh, retard's a good one. So I'm thinking faggot off the gate.
Okay.
Could be retard. Although, if we could continue, they might incorporate both because they say a few more things here.
Okay, this is unnecessary.
Okay, that was just the whole sentence. That was what could he possibly have said?
Hey, wait, is it Bubba Ray? That's obviously still talking, right? That they're bleeping out.
Yes. So maybe he stuttered through it. Maybe that's why it took so long.
Maybe.
Don't know. Let's see here.
Where's your signs, boy?
Leave him alone.
It took Bubba Ray fucking Dudley to take the fucking sign guy out. You nothing but a
special needs reject.
Here, I'm gonna try to get into those lips real quick.
Get into it. Massage it first.
You nothing but a.
So it seems like it was a 2-word insult. It seems like faggot was the first word. Is it? So what would be the second word?
Master faggot?
the grand faggot. Oh man, this
First off, let's go back. Why does it feel like they have a history?
Well,
Do
so this
they?
guy, Straw Hat guy, is like a notable fan.
The straw hat guy and the Hawaiian shirt. Those dudes, I've seen them many times, right? Like, but
Right.
the
guy in like
I'm
polo.
guessing, yeah, polo, very tight polo, by the way.
Very tight.
It seems like they've had some previous history.
Well, my thought is, the Dudleys have their own sign guy. So is this
Right.
a sign guy war? Sign of the times, maybe.
Hey,
Don't know.
I saw
Sign
the
versus
I saw
sign.
the
Shout out Stephanie Tanner. Is there something else? I think Devon says something.
Takes a big man to insult a fan, huh?
Under one of these sections, a big
It might be like faggot pussy or something. I don't know. But why would pussy be bleeped? I don't know. Let's see.
you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, it might be something like a slur against Philadelphians.
Is there?
Because
Hold
I mean,
on.
I'm just because the way, if you go back, the way the dude in the Hawaiian shirt stood up as if he was really offended. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm just googling. Is there a slur for Philadelphia? No, there's no single widely accepted slur.
oh, there's not.
John, Jawn,
No, not
John.
That's
Well,
I think that's like
okay.
a positive thing. That's like a positive thing. That's like an adjective. You know what I'm saying? That's a John. This is a John. You know.
I'm like skeptical to say
But
these
it
words
is.
because for like I don't know what they mean. So it's probably better that I don't say them. Jagoff. I mean,
I don't know. It can't be that because they would have to like blur. You know what I'm saying? And then you're thinking that, like, it's not on the Peacock, right? So
oh wait, this isn't. This is just slang in general. It's not slurs. John is used in a way that might be considered offensive or demeaning by some, depending.
Really?
So it means thing or person.
because everyone that I know that's used that word John is more
Right.
on the positive side. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
yo, you want
don't
that
know.
burger? That John's pretty good. You know?
Right.
Oh man, that
Right.
cheesesteak, yeah, that John's always cooking. You know, so like it's always
Right.
it's
Of
always
course.
of that lane, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know what Bubba Ray says. It has to definitely be something. Let's go with Master Faggot. I'm
Getting all sorts of sound bites from this.
Again, disclaimer: we are trying to provide the humor of '97. So
Right.
you know, this is
Right.
not Kyle or Justin or just, you know, being us. This is us portraying humor in '97.
We're speaking on behalf of the Dudleys.
Yeah.
We're kind of like the next Dudleys. We're like part of that
or
family.
commentating on what they're doing, you know what I'm saying, in '97.
Right. We don't what's the word? Accept, what's the fucking word? We don't we don't agree with what they're saying.
Yeah, we don't agree on their shaming of fags. No, we don't.
No.
We don't.
We love fags here at the Apron
We
Bump.
100% welcome all of that.
Oh man, this is gonna be my last episode ever. All right, let's see. Devon says one more thing here. Maybe he'll give us some insight.
including you no good, ungrateful pieces of shit.
See, I thought he said pieces of shit the first time, but then now.
I think he did before this clip.
Okay, and then they just didn't catch it, and then
There's a lot of pieces of shit flying throughout this entire show. So
yeah.
Well, glad we figured that out. Glad we got
Hey.
I don't know what we figured out, but we got there. And then all of a sudden, a match breaks out. A wrestling match breaks out. Balls and Sandman versus Dudleys.
Dude,
What did you think about this one?
This is actually really good. I mean, you have four icons of ECW, right? Balls,
Right.
Sandman, the Dudleys. I mean, you're also catching the Dudleys at, like, I wouldn't say prime, but you're getting them at, like, when they're starting their rise of becoming, like, you know, ECW's best tag team
Right.
in their promotion, right? Because at this point, they're just guys that are just, you know, talking shit and roasting the fans. They haven't really, like, hit that mark. And in this pay-per-view, I feel like this is what starts off the whole, oh, that's the Dudley Boys. That's the Dudley Boys, you know?
Right.
Then they get that whole tag team reign going on.
Yeah, it's still very new, very, very early in their run. They've only been teaming. Bubba and Devon have only been teaming for a couple months at this point. So, yeah, definitely the very beginning of what they would go on to do. They eventually, it's a fun brawl. You know, it's nothing. You're not going to see a lot of tope. Well, actually, there is some topes here. Sandman,
dude, Sandman.
Sandman
Sandman did a weird ass plancha. I mean, like Sandman plancha
with the kendo stick.
Yeah,
and hits his partner doing it because he can't control his body.
Did you see Balls Mahoney look at him like, what the?
I think we're teaming there, Sandy. Gee whiz, come on, guy. That's probably what he said.
Dude, what did I do to you?
Don't know. But Balls, I think it's Balls, gets hit with a 3D onto a steel chair, and the Dudleys get the win. By the way, this match is a number one contenders match to challenge for the tag titles in the main event, which there's a lot there that we got to talk about. But one could say this could have just been for the titles itself, but again, we'll just a little foreplay there.
You know, what's so funny.
The tip a little bit.
At the end of the match, you know, they hit the 3D. It's so funny because it's not like perfected yet.
Right.
So it's like it's kind of weird to see them like still do like a raw version of the 3D. You know?
Yeah. It looks brutal though.
Yeah,
like the way they do it.
Still, oh, dude, it looks like they just fuck up whoever they're, you know.
Yeah, because it's not smooth. It's just like
no.
maximum
I mean, later
damage.
on when they keep doing it, they get it to the point where like Bubba Ray's outside the ring and Devon hoists the guy and he gets in the ring and the timing is just so much perfect.
Yeah,
like it goes on, but to see a raw version of it is like that looked like that fucking hurt, you know.
No, I like it. But man, we got the ECW world title on the line here, just in the middle of the show. They got the champion Terry Funk defending against Chris Candido. Desperado. Where's that rank on your all-time wrestling theme songs?
You know, it's in a 60. If I have to rank songs, it's definitely on top 60. Likely
really
59.
top 60.
Likely 59.
I don't know about that, man. I mean, as a song, sure, but as a wrestling thing, I'm the champion. I'm out here to wrestle. I'm here to beat my opponent. Desperado. Get on my horse, or whatever the fucking words are.
You know what beats it? You know what's at 58? If that's on 59. That? 58 is spend my days working hard on the go.
All right, that's a good song. Let's calm down.
Come on.
We're not going to slander Double J on this program. That's for sure. So this is where. So we talked earlier. So by the way, Chris Candido comes out dressed like Terry Funk, which
hilarious
doesn't really come into play, but it's just a funny aesthetic. So both guys get in the ring, and during the ring introductions, Stevie Richards gets in there because he was originally slotted to challenge for the world title, and this is when he cuts that promo we were talking about earlier, the very Shawn Michaels-esque, very somber. Mm-hmm. He say that I may not wrestle again. I was really looking forward to wrestling you, Terry, but I guess I can't. And then he hugs him. That part of me was like, oh, is he gonna like swerve? Because I'd never seen this match. I was like, maybe he's gonna like low blow Terry, and it's gonna be a swerve, turn, whatever the hell. But no, it's just him being sad and hugging him and walking away. So I was like, all right, that's weird. Just a weird match, kind of in general. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yes. So. Okay, Chris Candido, definitely one of the best in-ring wrestlers. Right?
He's great, yeah.
I mean, just his raw talent, everything that he does. I mean, if I have to give somebody credit who's like a Chris Candido, like you could do like Speedball Mike Bailey, right? Is kind of could be a version of him, right? You can Chad Gable is another version of him, right?
Chad Gable, I think, is a better comp, yeah.
And then like if you even want to stretch it out, I would even put Dolph Ziggler in that lane too, right?
Both
blonde. Because Dolph Ziggler, like in ring and his athletic ability and the way he runs a match is very Chris Candido-esque, right? And also too, like Dolph Ziggler really never get the credit either, you know.
Sure, yeah.
So I and plus they're both blonde. That's is another comparison. So but the thing is, like Chris Candido in the Terry Funk match, I could see where they were going with it. At first, they started off with the whole mimic thing, right?
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen so much mimicking since like Doink the Clown in WrestleMania 9.
Right.
And But
you think that's what they were paying homage to?
maybe. But like it started off like that, and I thought it was gonna lead into some hardcore type style because if you're trying to be like Terry Funk, might as well go all the way.
Right.
And it just never went that way, you know.
Well, I think he tried to. Chris did.
They tried to.
Because it did. The match started off very wrestle heavy, just headlocks and headlock takeovers, collar and elbow tie ups in the ring. I think it progresses to a brawl outside of the ring.
Yep.
And God bless Chris Candido. He tries to, so he sets up a chair on the floor, sets it up. And then the idea is that he's going to pile drive Terry Funk on the setup chair. But here's the thing, folks. The seat of a setup chair and Terry's head and a pile driver on the same height. So he just sits down in the chair. I don't think he thought that one through.
And then his head just did like a little ding. Like it didn't even.
It was literally just fell over. Like I think Chris got the worst of it. And then he's like, Chris, I think, no, please.
Don't forget when they're outside, they set up a table.
Dude.
Right? And then I don't know, Chris Candido throws Terry Funk onto the table, right? But Terry Funk, I don't know where I think he got brought back to a time where he was slip and sliding, because that's the move that he tried to slide across the table. And I don't know if that momentum tweaked one of the legs, right? Because when they started to do a pile driver or position, they couldn't even get it off because the table broke.
Dude, okay, so Chris fucks up one pile driver on the chair. Then he's like, don't worry, I'm going to get him with this pile driver on the table. Nope, that goes awry. And then he has to, he gets him in the ring, and it's like 3 pile drivers in the row, just regular, which is
Dude,
like, all right.
Where did that table come from? Those are like the tables that you put in front of the entranceway. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not an
I think it's like the bell table. Yeah, it wasn't meant to be broken. The guy there is like, guys, what the hell? What the heck? Get off my table. So I don't know. But yeah, the crowd's not reacting to anything, by the way, that's
they're like,
happening.
what the hell is this? You know?
The first pop of the match is where Chris Candido, he sets up 2 chairs and then a chair across it, like a chair bridge, and then he hits a neck breaker onto Terry, onto it. The crowd's like, oh, whoa, that was pretty neat. But then it kind of goes back to
neck breaking.
Being a whole lot of nothing. And then
we get to neck break palooza. We get to neck break palooza right here.
That's what this show, pile drive palooza. Maybe even, perhaps.
Oh, man.
What'd you think about the finish?
Dude, I thought that was horrible. Like, out of all these Terry Funk matches and Chris Candido matches, like, why did we have this long schoolboy, 8 count, but it was a 3 count?
Yeah, it was like Terry goes to punch Chris. Chris tries to block it and he gets on his knees.
Right.
And then Terry locks in like a maestro cradle type of maneuver.
Uh-huh.
And the ref didn't even register that it was a pin until like you said, 5 seconds after. He was like, oh, I should probably count him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the finish. I should probably count him. And that's what gets Terry Funk the win. This random roll up out of nowhere, which I kind of liked it in concept, but in execution, it didn't really pan out well. As is pretty much this whole match. So
I will say though, I had more of a fun time watching this than Roman versus Undertaker.
Ooh, I need to watch that again.
I mean, it's almost similar in some ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Roman Undertaker was just depressing though. Yeah, it was just fair. And after 5 hours of watching wrestling before that, it's really running out of gas there. But don't know. And by the way, the crowd chants.
The crowd was
bullshit.
okay, it's time to get some snacks.
Yeah, they weren't. They weren't into this at all. But I don't know. They wanted Stevie. Maybe is the thing, and they're mad that they don't get Stevie.
I mean, I think it got a little pop too when Shane Douglas and Francine came out, right, to try to motivate Chris Candido or something. But
triple threat, yeah,
triple threat.
Yeah.
Oh,
shout out.
Ooh.
But boy, howdy! I think the next match though makes up for it. We got loser leaves town match. Tommy Dreamer versus Raven. Who doggy? What a feud. What a couple of blokes out there doing the wrestling. So this is Ravens, I mean, it's very well known at this point that Raven's going to WCW after this, so everybody's kind of expecting Raven to lose this. I would think
they're chanting like "you sold out" and everything. So
yeah. So, but I mean, even with that known, I thought the drama in this match was fucking awesome. Like, you don't get a lot of like really like dramatic matches in ECW. I feel like, at least in this era, like not a lot of matches that like suck you in. Like the result of it is like, who's gonna win? It's always like, oh, this guy's hitting this guy with a cheese grater. Oh, this guy's putting a kendo stick up his ass. Oh, that's pretty neat. Clap clap. But this one was like, I don't know. I really like this match. What you think about it?
No, I mean, yeah. If you kept up with the storyline, yeah, this match is like one of the top notches. You know what I'm saying? Everything that, stealing his kid, converting Beulah McCuddy for a while, and like the back and forth of everything that they went through. I mean, it's so funny too. Like everyone's always like, oh, they're gonna nowadays, especially when they have like two wrestlers like fighting again. It's like, but Tommy Dreamer and Raven, they've had how many matches, and each story was like built in a different way too. You know what I'm saying? And the match just like is like icing on the cake. And that's the definitely way I felt with this rivalry. Definitely a rivalry that like people should talk about more often too. Like it's definitely up there. It's in my top 10 rivalry.
No, yeah, it's a landmark ECW feud, if nothing else. I mean, wrestling in general, but definitely ECW. And at this point, Tommy has never pinned Raven,
right?
Which is a key factor here. Can he do it here? We'll just have to see.
Can he do it though? Can he do it?
I don't know who these fucking cocksuckers are with Raven. Chastity and Lupus. Just some jamokes out there with Raven. I guess the pre-flock maybe.
The pre-flockers.
Whoa, easy now. Language, come on now.
Don't want to get censored.
PG.
Don't want to get censored like Bubba.
It's a PG show. Lupus gets in there before the match even starts. Lupus is like, "Hey, Raven, you're already signed a contract with WCW. Why bother even with this match?" And Raven's like, "It's a good point, Lupus." And so Raven leaves. He leaves through the crowd. But Tommy chases him into the crowd through the front door, and the match gets underway, and they brawl all throughout the crowd.
Dude.
Tables breaking left and right. I mean, any moments in this crowd brawling?
I was like the what's it called? I need to see the blueprint of this building, right? I'm like, where? I'm like, dude, I thought they were standing on like lower, already the lower level, but there's already like another level. You know what I'm saying? Like when they went through like the tables and everything.
I think they went like on the bleachers at some point.
Something
and
like they went in the bleachers.
Tommy got thrown off through a table. So it's a very topographical arena.
Yeah, and I just love it too when they go to like early ECW when they go through the crowd and the crowd's like freaking crazy and like there's like you can't tell where they're gonna land. You know what I'm saying? And then to see if people just move and then like, oh, there's a table. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
it's not like modern wrestling.
It was really cool. I thought it was really cool. It was very raw too. Like to see like what a wrestling fan was like at that time also.
Yeah. Yeah, it really brings you back to 97 watching, I mean, just being right in there with the wrestling fans.
I mean, middle fingers galore, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like normally I tune out of crowd brawling type stuff, but for whatever reason, this one kind of sucked me in a little bit.
Oh yeah. I think because they went everywhere. They literally went everywhere.
They utilized their real estate, as they say.
Okay.
They fight like
Warren Buffett. Okay, Warren Buffett.
they were exploring the space. These two gentlemen. They fight towards like the edge of the arena where commentary usually is. But tonight, Shane Douglas and Francine are there watching the show for whatever reason.
Dude, what section is that? Like, what would be there if there's no wrestling? Is that like I don't know if that's like a stage or what?
I think it's like the sound booths and like I think commentary usually is up there.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Who knows? It's pretty much just used for people to get thrown off.
This is where the Foot Clan trains. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. It could be. It could be. I never thought of it like that, but they eventually get back to the ring. Chairs get brought into it. The classic Raven drop toe hold into the setup chair. He rocket launchers Tommy off the top rope through the setup chair, which looked pretty brutal. We get a lot of good near falls here. Dreamer with a spinning DDT.
Yes.
And then Straw Hat Guy has a sign for him.
Yeah.
It is, I believe it said, what did it say? It was like wrapped in something. It was a street sign wrapped in something. I forget what it said on it.
You know what I'm saying? Something stupid Johns? Like
Master Faggot. That's going to be the title of this episode.
Wow.
Eesh. But Dreamer unwraps it. It's a do not enter sign. And it kind of weirdly becomes the centerpiece of the rest of this match because it gets like thrown onto the mat and then people keep getting DDT'd onto it one after the other.
It's everywhere.
Tommy pile drives Raven onto it. But then Lupus gets in there and breaks up the pin. It's Lupus.
Which I don't even know if Lupus knew what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if he like remembered what his role was, but it's like when he got in there, he was like, oh, you know.
He didn't know it was a work. He was like really trying to protect his friend. I don't know, probably. Beulah gets in there, gives a DDT to Lupus. Just a sentence I've never said before, but and then Chastity gets in there, and now you got two gals in there, so of course they got a cat fight. Ripping each other's clothes off and whatnot. So that happens. Raven busts out a Claymore out of nowhere, which caught me off guard.
Dude, I didn't even know he had it in him.
His bag is deep, as the kids say. And that gets a 2 count. All these 2 counts, the crowd's like biting. It's like, oh, is this going to be it?
Mm-hmm.
Beulah with a low blow to Raven, and Raven with a DDT. And I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, this feels like a good way to tie this story up. Because like you said, that's kind of how it started. With They were kids at summer camp, and they were fighting over Beulah. Then Raven got her. Then Dreamer took her from Raven. Then he got her pregnant. Then she had a miscarriage. It was the whole thing.
Right.
But that was not it. DDT on the sign for a 2 count. And then Louis Spicoli comes out. Radford. He's dressed like Tommy Dreamer.
Right.
So he's doing the whole, he's like mocking him. They've been building this on ECW TV leading up to this. Spicoli gets in there, gives Dreamer a DDT, and then pulls Raven onto Tommy's lifeless body. Ref counts 1, 2, kick out. By God.
I thought that was like, oh my gosh. When that kicked out, I was like, okay, we're still in it now. We're still in it.
And I was watching this, I couldn't remember if Dreamer had beaten Raven. Like, I knew that was a thing going into this match, but I couldn't remember if he actually ever beat him. So I was like biting on each of these kickouts. So I was like, oh shit, that might be it.
I mean, same here, because I was trying to think of a time when because I thought that there was a time where he did, but it was like a
yes, and then they reversed it.
Yeah, and they took it away, right? Like something like that.
Bill Alfonso, I think, was the referee.
Yeah,
like,
there you go. Yeah,
overturned it. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, same thing. Like, of course, I'm like thinking I could predict one of the kickouts, but this particular one where he put him over and everything, and he kicked out, I was like, oh, okay, we're still going, you know.
Like, it feels like, all these feel like they could be the end of the match. Like,
oh yeah, totally.
Dreamer kicks out, and then he comes back. He DDTs Louis. But then Raven takes advantage of this distraction, DDT's Dreamer onto the sign, 1, 2, kick out. Raven goes for another DDT, but then Tommy reverses, hits Raven with the Death Valley Driver, which is Louis' move. So he's doing a little turning the tables, so to speak. Onto the sign, Tommy then pulls Raven up, hooks him in. Crowd like almost gets hushed for a second, and Dreamer yells, EC fucking W, and then hits the DDT onto the sign for the 1, 2, 3. My goodness. Tommy Dreamer finally beats Raven, and Raven has to leave town. Fly the coop. Fly the coop
is a term. Yeah. Get out of Dodge. Get out of Dodge.
Right.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Wow. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, get a grip.
I'm gripping and ripping this match. But yeah, no. Any other nuggets on this one? I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Well, actually, we're leading into something crazy, but like, no, you know what's so funny? I enjoyed this match. This was probably like one of the best matches on the card, if not the best match.
Yeah.
And just like, we talked about, mentioned before, the build-up, right? The storyline, everything culminated to this one particular match. I just laughed when Tommy Dreamer was yelling ECW, and he does this thing with his neck, like EC, in that, like no rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. It's all passion from Tommy. I mean, no time for rhythm. I don't know, man. But yeah, it was a lot of this match is very silly, but I'll say this: up to this point in ECW's history, best match they've ever had.
no, oh, totally.
Like in the company's history, best match so far up to this point. They may have had matches after this that are better. Which I mean, it's not a lot. It's not a lot of good matches. I mean, there's like.
I would say this match definitely is one of the best and has the most like drama too.
Yeah, and like you said, the story behind it, it was just a
I can't remember of any other ECW match or wrestlers that had this much storyline, like so much weight into one match.
No, yeah, I mean, it's like some Sandman Raven stuff. That was all right.
Yeah,
they never really. It was kind of a touch and go story. They didn't really. I don't know. I can't. Not up to this point. I mean, we got some stuff coming up though. That after this match that we're leading into. That I mean, this. So at this point in the show, on is fucking awesome. Like,
yes,
pretty much every.
This is the point. This is the part of what I was talking about earlier. How it was kind of like felt like a regular TV show.
Yeah.
Once Tommy Dreamer and Raven had their match, and then everything after was just yes, this is ECW now.
Because so Tommy wins. Raven's out of here. Lights go out. Now, who do you think's coming out when the lights come back on?
Ooh, man, I would love it to be Kai and Ty.
They are around, by the way. They did wrestle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's not the craziest thing.
No.
They could have chopped.
They could have.
But they did not. Unfortunately, it's just Rob Van Dam wearing a Monday Night Raw t-shirt, which is just phenomenal. So for context, on Monday Night Raw, Jerry Lawler brought in RVD to be his protege, I guess. I don't know. Because Jerry Lawler was talking shit on Raw, on WWF's programming, talking shit about ECW, like naming them by name. Paul Heyman was on the show. Him and Lawler had a debate. They had the whole ECW invasion. And so now we're kind of bleeding over into ECW with RVD here with a steel chair, wearing the Monday Night Raw t-shirt, gives Tommy the Van Daminator. And Dreamer starts to fight back, though, eventually. But then the lights go out again. And the lights come back on. And Sabu, pointing to that sky, he fucking hurls a chair right at Dreamer's face. It never looks safe the way Sabu does it.
Never.
Jeez Louise. So Sabu and RVD and Bill Alfonso's out there. They've been a trio since Barely Legal, when Bill turned on Taz. So we got this new group here. And I'm like, okay, so we got the heel group out here. They're beating up on Tommy Dreamer. And they're at this point, there's huge "We want Taz" chants. So I'm thinking, all right, well, now Taz is going to come out and run these guys off, and that's going to be it. Well, there is a lot more to it than that, because the lights go out again. The crowd is chanting, "We want Taz." Lights come back on, and who is it, Juss?
Jerry the King Lawler.
Ding is right. Jerry Lawler out here. Dude, I knew Jerry Lawler was in ECW at some point. For whatever reason, I didn't think it was here. Just to see Jerry the King Lawler with his dumb crown and everything in the ECW arena with the production of ECW with RVD and Sabu and Dreamer. Like, he's in the thick of what makes ECW ECW.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think of seeing Jerry Lawler here?
Dude, I thought, okay, so didn't he do this for Barely Legal too?
He was not at Barely Legal, no.
Okay, but I remember it wasn't like, didn't Sonny show up? Somebody showed up.
Sonny was on the TV show with Chris Candido, but
She was okay.
Not yet a major part. No.
Okay. All right. So, when this happens, I vaguely remember seeing it like, when I was younger. So it took me a minute to realize, like, okay, all those images that I've seen, this is the scene right now.
Right.
Like, this is the where all those highlights come from. Because I remember when, in the DVD that I gave Charlie, Rise and Fall, they talk about when he showed up, and they had this scene in there. So I'm like, okay, so this is where it started. It's from WrestleMania 97, Wrestlepalooza 97.
Right.
He's a lot tanner without the WWE cameras and lights.
Yeah, he's a tan boy.
Right? Like a piece of fried chicken.
Yeah, no, you're right. Everybody calls it's Jerry Fried Chicken Lawler is what people call him.
Really? Okay. Maybe he should change his name from Jerry to Jaundice.
John Lawler?
Jaundice Lawler.
That's a thought. We'll workshop that. Maybe.
It is a thought. That hot thing.
It's nothing else. It's
that
a thought.
Thing over there. That hot thing over there.
But yeah, man, Jerry Lawler's here on ECW soil. Like I said, just a surreal visual. Crowd is going rabid, by the way. I mean,
I think they're offended. This should have been like silenced, right? Instead of like the actual censor thing. Because this was really offensive to them,
He should have been like Muhammad. He should have been blurred.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the crowd, I mean, just the energy of this fucking segment, man. Jerry Lawler's out here with RVD, Sabu, Bill Alfonso. What a tandem. Beating on Tommy Dreamer. Louis Spicoli's still in there holding Beulah in the corner,
thought that was so weird.
It was a little uncomfortable.
And cringe as hell. Like, he didn't have to be holding her the way that he was holding her. I mean, nobody would have been looking in their direction anyway. Like, dude, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
And Jerry Lawler didn't help matters because he goes over to Beulah with the mic in his hand. Look at this fucking slut.
And he's like, she's not even kicking, and he's like grabbing her knees. Like, dude, you're like way too extra. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Well, she wasn't kicking because he was grabbing her knees. So maybe he had the right technique. You ever think about that?
You know what?
You ever think about that?
You know what? I see what you're throwing at. I see what you're throwing at.
You smell what I'm cooking.
Hey, it's rice.
Always rice.
Because
Jerry,
that's what I'm cooking too. So.
Well, I think Jerry Lawler smells what they're cooking here, and he doesn't like it because he grabs a mic and he says, well, this place might as well be made of toilet paper because it's just made of shit. Is that a good line?
I mean, for the time, it's you know what I'm saying? It took a lot of ways to go around till we got to the actual joke. But
big setup.
He got the landing.
Yeah, and he keeps
what would you have said better if you could ad lib something or write a better joke?
Well, in 97, right?
Yeah, 97.
We're not talking about 2025.
No. 97.
Probably would have adopted a lot of the Dudley's vernacular. Let's just say that. Let's just say that one. Okay. We'll leave it. Let your imagination run wild there, folks. Extremely crappy wrestling, he says, which is clever. ECW, folks. He says nobody in that locker room's tough enough. And I guess he's right because some people come out like who is it? Ian Rotten comes out. He gets shit canned with a steel chair
immediately. This help sucked, by the way. Like
when Ian Rotten is your front line, you're just doomed to fail. But the gangsters come out though with the music and everything. The trash can, I'm like, oh, they're here to save the day, but they don't.
Dude,
they just
And I'm like, yo, that's New Jack, and he got fucked up. How's that possible?
Like a jamoke, man.
Literally.
He didn't like, going down for Jerry Lawler. No. I have a feeling he wasn't too happy about that.
I think that was real.
Yeah, he wasn't a part of the segment.
He wasn't part of the segment, but they're like, okay, play his music.
Who knows? It's a Wild West over there. But as Sandman comes out, I was like, oh, it's fucking Sandman. Right. He's got to save the day. He gets in the ring, And he cracks open a beer and starts chugging. He stops looking at them, so he gets distracted. You fucking asshole. And then Sabu, of course, double legs him because he's not looking at him, and then he just takes care of him like that. So, just drunkard, Sandman. But then, because by the way, after every one of these guys gets like taken out, the chance of we want Taz just keep amplifying.
Yeah.
And eventually, War Machine hits the speakers, and Taz comes out. Black towel over his head.
Yeah.
Singlet, wet, and gets in there, just gets in the ring, doesn't even do anything, but everybody runs away. So they presented Taz like a monster here, and I think that it was an effective way to do that. So
yes.
But and that pretty much wraps up the Jerry Lawler stuff. But the way like the rest of the show kind of like bleeds into the next thing, I thought was great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We're not quite, because Taz grabs the mic. He's like, "Hey, Jerry Lawler, suck my cock."
Yeah.
Which,
that's a good impression.
"Hey, Lawler, brother." He was big into brother back in this time. As was everybody, but I guess, man. By the way, fucking Shane Douglas is still like in the
in the private suite.
Yeah, he's just in the skies somewhere. You just hear his voice from above. "Hey, Taz, calm the fuck down. You ran him off." And then Taz is like, "Hey, don't you fucking interrupt me. Why don't you go fuck that rat of yours?" Which, I mean, I don't know. The excessive cursing, like, it can be like kind of cringe in a way, but for whatever reason, I feel like it worked here. It just made it feel so raw. I mean, this is how guys talk to each other when they're about to fight each other.
Yeah,
I feel like.
They do. Calling somebody a rat? Yeah.
Well, Francine's the rat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. You know what? I mean, the thing is, like, this is, back to that time where it's like shock value, right? The shock content, right? Like, so they want to make sure that they're not WCW. They want to make sure that they're not WWF. So, like, the excessive cursing, like, even though it was a bit much, like you're saying, it was on par of what their brand was all about.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But going back, you're talking about Shane Douglas. You remember when I think Jerry Lawler calls out Shane Douglas to see if he wanted a piece of Rob Van Dam and Sabu?
Oh, yeah. You're right.
And then Shane Douglas is like, no, I'm not part of this. You go ahead. I thought that was such a dick move, to be honest.
Lazy.
Like, dude,
maybe.
you're just pretty much saying that you're weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're an ECW guy. You're an ECW guy, and like, you could have backed them up, but instead you're just like, no, I'm not part of this.
He's a pussy, some may say. The crowd chants at him. Little dick. Speaking of which, what does Taz say here? He's like, fuck, I wrote it down somewhere. He says you have a small penis. He says the word penis, which is just like, for whatever reason,
from all the things Taz's you could have chose,
So whatever. Taz and Shane jaw each other for a bit. Oh, that's right. It's later, because before that, Taz wants Sabu, because that's the scheduled match next. So he calls out Sabu, and Sabu, because he was a part of that brawl with Jerry Lawler earlier, so they've scurried to the back. They don't want to come back out and face Taz.
Right.
But Bill Alfonso comes out.
Oh, gosh.
Taz is like, "Hey, brother, you got 15 seconds before I choke you out." And then Bill's like, I don't know. You think Bill would, like, economy of words, Bill. Like, you have the 15 seconds. Use them effectively. But his first words are, "All right, hey, listen here, fat boy." Like, you're going to antagonize this guy? I don't think that's a smart move.
Yeah, listen here, fat boy.
That's a good Bill Alfonso, man.
Hey.
Bill's like, "Hey, why would Sabu come out and fight you when we're getting fat checks on Monday nights?" Which, that's fair. And Taz grabs Bill Alfonso, threatens to suplex him, but then Sabu comes to makes the save. And now we have a match. Taz versus Sabu 2, the rematch.
Ooh.
Barely legal. My goodness. So this is originally scheduled for the pay-per-view in August, but they bumped it up, I think, allegedly due to the Stevie Richards match not happening.
Is that okay? I was trying to figure out why did they do this? Why did they have it earlier? but okay.
Yeah. I feel like it also just makes sense to have it now, like with the Lawler story and everything. I don't know. It feels like it fits.
No,
But yeah, Taz and Sabu, man, great. I mean, the story leading up, talking about stories, this is another great story that was built for a year.
yeah, another good
before
rivalry
this.
too for ECW too, because they've always like had good chemistry together. This match was
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, Sabu doing all those like springboard different kicks. He did a thing where like he to get back in the ring, he did a front flip with the top rope, like leg drop. Like people
Yes.
forget all the innovation like that Sabu did like in the ring,
Right.
I think like the only person that could do something similar like that at the time was like Ultimo Dragon,
Oh yeah, good
right?
shout out.
Was like was close to what Sabu could do. Also, too, man, you gotta give Sabu props, man. I know his legs was hot.
Oh, those pants seem pretty breathable.
You think so? I don't know, man. It's like a breadstick in like that bag that they put it in,
Why is
It's
that
like
so accurate?
From Olive Garden, they put that the
Yeah,
breadstick in
yeah.
that bag.
Like a Wawa bag, your hoagie goes in. Something, but it's also tucked into his boots too, so I guess there's no airflow really. Yeah.
No filtering, no air. You know what I'm saying? Nothing, dude.
Man, what do you think that smells like?
Oh, dude, spoiled trauma.
It's because what is this? Isn't he just like a white guy, but he like comes out in the turban? Hold on, let me verify this.
He could have some of that in his blood.
I was gonna say because it probably smells like curry in there or something, but I didn't know if that'd be insensitive. But if he's just a white guy, I think that's shut up. Luca Mates or whatever his thing is.
Tikka masala.
Yeah, I think he's just a white guy. I think we're good.
Really?
We're good. What's his name? Terrence Brunk is his name.
Oh,
Yeah,
come on.
We're fine. Guess how old Sabu is today?
Okay, 60.
Okay, you looked this up, didn't you?
Asshole. Is he really?
He's 60. I would guess older for some reason.
I thought it was gonna be like 66 or something like that.
No.
Okay. I tell you, since you did say I was looking up something, I was looking up something just to confirm what I'm about to say. Yeah, Bill Alfonso hasn't been this talkative on a mic since his time on People's Court with Missy Hyatt.
What? Was that a thing?
Yes. So there's an episode of People's Court where I think Missy Hyatt is suing Bill Alfonso for some shit. I'll send you the link, but we have to talk about that sometime later on.
Yeah. That'll be a whole episode in itself.
Come on. We got a lot of content.
Well, speaking of deep dive analysis, I want to get your thoughts on Taz and this maneuver he did called the red hook ringer.
I think I know. Yes! I know we were going to talk about this. How did I know we were going to talk about this?
So
Dude,
look, just the anatomy. So you got Sabu's ankles.
Is this not the Wingstop logo right here? His thighs look like chicken tenders, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
look, I'm not a cannibal. I would never eat a person, right? But if I had to, 97 Taz. Serve that up to me.
Especially in this position. I mean, dude.
I mean, impressive. That's my only word here.
I know earlier they were talking about a lot of dicks and penises. Here's one right here, At
least one, right? I mean, this thing's got a cleavage.
Dude, this thing is like, it's like a lightsaber. Like, it just wants to extend,
Right. But it won't. That singlet is just so tight.
It's keeping it in its like captivity until it's time to release.
Right. It's a cocoon of sorts.
Literally. I mean, this is pre Finn Balor Moose Knuckle.
All right. Who has the better Moose Knuckle, Finn Balor or Taz? Taz feels meaner,
hard, man. Literally, that's hard. Literally.
Yeah, well, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Because Finn Balor can only expose it when he does the open jacket. right?
Right.
Or when he gets on the turnbuckle and does that, when he does that,
What does he do?
Like the demon shit.
Oh shit!
And
fuck. Oh shit! What did I do here? I was trying to highlight you. Oh, it's all turned on me. Hold on, we gotta remove this. Sucker, what happened here?
So yeah, I don't know, man. That's a beefy sausage.
Well, that's the clip. That's all I needed. All right, so the match.
It's so funny because I had that set up too, and you had okay. All right. Anyway.
Oh, but yeah, for whatever. If people listening, it's like for people listening, describe it. We love cocks.
Listen, if you want to see, something at peak valley, this is the cock for you. I mean, this is the position for you right here. I mean, look at that.
It's like a torture rack turned 90 degrees. I gotta get my protractor.
I'm calling pleasure rack.
Like, so we're getting pleasure from it. That's for sure. Man, well, there's other stuff happening in this match, I think.
No, I don't know.
Yo, what's up with Taz going for a swanton bomb out of nowhere?
Dude, and then why did he start it like that? Like the way he did it just like, whoa. Okay, then what were you doing?
I think that's probably the only time he ever did that. He was like, all right,
dude,
no more of that bullshit.
Taz is feeling himself today. I mean, he cut a great promo. He got a good standing ovation. Swanton it is.
He's goosed up. He's goosed up, this Taz. But ultimately, so Taz won at Barely Legal with the Taz mission. And he locks in the Taz mission again here. But Sabu does the old Bret Hart reversal, walks up the corner, turns it over into a pin of his own with the Taz mission still locked in. But Sabu has Taz's shoulders on the mat. 1, 2, 3. Sabu gets the cheeky victory out of nowhere.
It was the silky pants.
You think so? You think that's what led him to victory?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so this is Taz's first loss since September of 1995.
Crazy.
So like a year and a half or so he hasn't lost, which is nuts. Taz none too pleased with this. He chokes out the referee. He chokes out another referee. He suplexes another referee.
Dude, that referee that he T-boned suplex, holy shit, I thought he was paralyzed.
He might be.
Because he like his head was like sideways from his body.
Right.
Like it did not look right when he like.
You're saying Taz didn't set him up for safety? Yikes. And then Taz chokes out Bill Alfonso, which is a fun little moment there. Gets his comeuppance. But then we hear from the skies once again. Hey, brother, you stretched out enough, guys. Time to get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. It's a franchise. Shane Douglas, of course. He's still here.
Yeah.
Taz is like, well. This is where he says it. He says, well, for such an intelligent man with a little penis, you don't seem to pay attention, do you? Why don't you come make me leave? Taz says. Shane Douglas says, well, what do I get out of it coming down there and getting in there? And Taz is like, hey, brother, I can make you tap out in 5 minutes. And then Shane's like, I'll put my title on the line if you can make me tap out in 5 minutes. And then Shane's like, we need to sweeten the pot a little bit. This whole fucking segment lasts forever, by the way.
Let's make a deal. This is ECW, let's make a deal. And it's so, it's so like, it's like, okay, it's just so dumb, right? Because it's like, okay, Taz initiates it, right? And Shane Douglas, again, being like a dick, like, doesn't want to conform to doing it, but then he's like, let's sweeten the pot, And then he keeps repeating everything that Taz is saying as if like the fans are dumb, Yeah. It's like, what more explanation is there,
Exactly. Yeah, they were really reiterating everything. Like this segment lasted probably like 6 minutes and it could have been 2.
Right. Exactly.
Taz is like, Shane's like, all right, if I get in there, I'll put my title on the line. And if you can't make me tap out in 5 minutes, then you have to take a 30-day suspension. And Taz is like, brother, how about 60 days? Like,
you're stupid.
This guy does not know how to negotiate.
Exactly.
Um,
You're dumb.
Shane's like, your family better have a savings account because your family's about to fucking starve.
He
That's very mean.
obviously doesn't know what EBT is.
I guess not. Taz probably does though. Taz says, "Well, if you're so fond of this number," and he holds up 3 because of the triple threat:
Right,
Shane
right.
Douglas, Chris Candido, Bam Bam Bigelow, the faction that's been established.
Uh-huh.
Since you're so fond of this number, how about this? 3 minutes, I'll make you tap out, brother. And then Shane's like, "You got a fucking deal," and then he comes to the ring. Which it was goofy and dumb, but part of me was like, "Oh, this is kind of fun to see these guys shit talk each other." It just felt so raw in the moment.
For the TV title, yep.
And so now we have a match for the TV title, like you mentioned, Shane Douglas versus Taz. And if I guess there's a 3-minute time limit, so if Taz can't make him tap out within 3 minutes, I guess Shane wins,
Right?
retains the title, and Taz has to take a 60-day suspension. And obviously, Taz, if he wins, he gets the TV title. I mean, Shane, he has the advantage in the beginning with some, he's attacking the neck of Taz, taking advantage of his previously injured neck. And about a minute and a half in, Taz locks in the Taz mission. Shane fights out of it, but then he finds himself back into it at some point, maybe like 2 minutes in, and taps out. Like in 2 minutes, I think, around that. As Juss dies. He's very distraught. You see, he was very emotional seeing the Dougler lose his TV title. So he's over there passing away as we speak. So
No, I drank some water. It's like went through the wrong tunnel. No, but you know, they've had better matches, and I understand that this is a TV title and it's like early in their little rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
But I was trying to think, maybe I have to like watch like a couple of ECWs after this. Like, what was the point of this?
Well, Taz had to take a loss, so therefore he had to kill all the referees and then win a title to make up for it. I think is what I gathered.
I guess, and I guess this what starts like Shane Douglas getting to the world title area.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. I think Shane's moving on, and Taz has not. I don't think he's ever been a champion in ECW up to this point. Maybe I think tag team champion, maybe at some point. I think him and Sabu were tag team champions.
This one
he was like the Tasmaniac.
Well, maybe. Oh, maybe you mean you're talking about like early, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, but
So,
I thought they were definitely tag team champions later on.
As they say, it's Googleable. Let's see here. Championship history. Bang, bang, boom. ECW. World champion. TV champion. Okay. Oh, he was tag team champion with Kevin Sullivan. Interesting. Twice with Kevin Sullivan, once with Sabu. So, yes, he was tag team champion with Sabu.
That makes sense. All right.
I think at this point, those are his only titles in ECW. So, it was his first time holding the singles title here. And again, so we got Ravens out of here. Now we got Taz as a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Douglas is going for the world. So we're entering a new era here, and that's just solidifying that here. But the crowd seemed to like it. It was fun for what it was.
No, Taz and Shane Douglas, I always like watching them wrestle. And
yeah,
Taz as a character in ECW was just so great to watch, right?
Sick, yeah.
Everything was just like a big match, like violence too.
Mm-hmm.
Every move that he put on somebody looked like he was going to kill them, you know?
It could end at any moment. He had that kind of like Goldberg kind of volatility to his matches, which...
Oh, yeah. And I also like the entrance music. That's the other thing I liked about like this link that you gave me.
Yes.
Is that it has all the original like music that they came out to. And this is like the ECW like music I remember. Game
changer. I spent a lot of time just watching the Peacock versions of these shows, and
it doesn't give you the same feel.
Dude, it's crazy how important that is, man. It's yeah, but good stuff there. New TV champion in the Tasmaniac. And,
I will say too, like before we get to our next match,
yeah,
out of all the promotions, ECW puts their TV championship like at a very high level.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like their Intercontinental Championship, almost.
Yeah, the way ECW treats their titles is interesting because almost like the world title is almost never the main event.
No.
Like,
oh no. Yeah. I mean, look at this pay-per-view. It's like the third match.
Yeah, and like we got the tag titles in the main event here, and it's like a very common thing, like in the Public Enemy era.
Oh,
like
yeah,
they were
yeah,
always
yeah,
the main
you're
event
right.
for whatever reason. So it's almost like they held the tag team titles in higher regard
Mm-hmm.
than the world title. Even in the TV title too, it's always been a big deal, especially with Shane Douglas as champion. So
Right.
but yeah, shout out. But that brings us to the main event. ECW tag titles on the line. The number one contenders from earlier, the Dudley Boys, are challenging the champions, the Eliminators.
Woo.
John Cronus, Perry Saturn. You a big Eliminators guy?
Oh yeah, dude. Especially their finisher. I love that finisher that they got.
What's that called again?
What is it called?
Total elimination. Or I don't know how Joey Styles sounds.
Elimination.
How does he do that? It hurts my throat.
But yeah, no, I always like them as a tag team too. Another underrated tag team, Perry Saturn, man. Back in this day in ECW, whoo,
beast.
He was very agile, versatile too.
Top
like,
3 elbow drops of all time.
He shouldn't be able to move like a luchador.
He's like jacked too.
And Cronus too.
Psycho.
Dude, he shouldn't be able to do all the things that he can. I mean, that guy was like doing Dragon Lee type shit, you know?
Handsprings. Shout out China.
Gosh.
Shout out Molly Holly. Who else does the handspring? Great Muda, I guess,
Great
but more
Muda's
Molly
another
Holly.
one. Yeah,
Molly Holly,
yeah.
China, Stacy Keeper.
Io Shirai does a handspring also.
Right,
but it's like not like a move. It's just like just for show.
Just a vibe.
Yeah. Just a vibe.
So we got. I don't know why this is the main event. First of all, Joe Gertner's out there again with the Dudleys, and he informs the audience that it's 2-0 Red Wings in the third period.
This was so dumb.
They were like ragging on the Flyers the entire night.
They kept on bringing that in. Like when they couldn't find any heelish thing to say, they would just bring
every
that in.
heel.
Like,
I think Shane Douglas made a reference to it.
Yeah, he brought up a whole broom. Remember the whole sweep thing? It's like
that's right.
I mean, really though? I mean, like.
I guess the game was actively happening when the show was happening, so maybe that's why. I don't know.
It didn't seem like this crowd cared about the Red Wings, you know?
Yeah, they like cheered when somebody shit on the Red Wings or on the Flyers.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. But Todd Gordon comes out with the Dudleys in the ring. And Todd, who's the owner of ECW.
Yeah.
And kayfabe, I guess. He announces that Perry Saturn has torn his ACL and has broken his tibia and something else too, like a bunch of leg injuries. His leg's all fucked up, basically.
Femur.
Shout out femur.
Yeah.
Says that Perry's gonna have surgery and he'll likely be out for at least a year. So he asks the Eliminators to come out and forfeit the titles. Which, if you knew this going into the show, why is this the main event? Why is this match even happening? Why wouldn't that earlier tag team match been for the titles?
Right. Well, they probably thought that they were going to do the whole Varsity Blues, take steroids before going out there. And Perry Saturn, just like James Vanderbeek in that movie, was like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, he did something because Saturn comes out and he's like, or Saturn and Cronus they come out with their titles. Saturn, of course, has this big ass brace on his whole leg, basically. Crutches. I don't even know how he got in the ring. Like he had to like really contort his body to get in the ring with that stiff leg. Saturn says, "Hey, it's ECW tradition for the champions to lose the titles by getting beat in the ring." And then Todd's like, "Hey, bud, your fucking leg's broken. You can't wrestle." He's like, "All right, yeah, good point." But the Cronus is like, "I'm going to wrestle myself. So it's going to be a handicap match."
I'm going to do it.
Which, like, I don't know, man. I guess I get it. They don't want to just forfeit the titles. They want to lose and defeat,
right.
but whatever. Bubba's like, because they thought they were just going to get handed the titles. So
Right.
Bubba's pissed. I think he even says to Todd Gordon, and I quote, "Do your fucking job, you little bald fuck." Which is not very nice. You can't talk to that.
Come on,
talk like that to me.
He's bald. You can't help it.
Yeah, and then Todd's like, "Oh yeah, well let's ring the bell." Perry's still in the ring, by the way. It's like they didn't wait for him to get out of the ring. So the match is underway. It's a handicap match for the tag team titles. Dudley's versus Cronus. Of course, the numbers game. Dudley's beat on Cronus.
Yeah.
As if that's not enough of an advantage. Like Cronus starts to fight back, and then Big Dick gets in there and choke slams him. So they're like, I don't know. Can't beat one guy with two. You have to use all of your doodlies. Whatever. Dick's out there. You might as well use them. That's what they say.
Hey, Dick is out. Might as well use it.
That's what they always. That's what you always tell me. Every day, every morning, you say that to me, and I'm like, that's a weird thing to text me in the morning. But
I thought you were going to say that. You know, I thought you were going to
in confidence. But then this goddamn Perry Saturn,
dude,
man, what? Like he gets in the ring with his broken leg, stiff, whatever you call it, the brace, the cast that he's wearing.
The cast, yeah.
Bubba goes to clothesline him. Saturn ducks it and then hits him with a cutter. What? Yeah, Cronus pins him after that. It's 2 count. It's like, okay, I guess Saturn's in the match with this broken leg.
With his broken leg.
Dudley's...
And it's so funny too because, like, I know it's ECW, but if we're sticking to tag team rules, he didn't tag in.
That's a good point.
Right? So it's like...
Didn't hold the tag rope.
Yeah. Yeah, no tag rope for real.
Maybe that's how they get around this. Maybe they reverse the decision on ECW Hardcore TV this Saturday at 1 a.m. Tune in. Find out.
Yeah, after the QVC shows. Tune in.
Right before the what's the fortune teller, Mrs. Mrs. Cleo, yeah. So many nights I just woke up in the middle of the night to her. But Saturn gets in, cutter to whoever the fuck, to Bubba. Dudley's gang up on Cronus though. They beat on him for a bit. Saturn, Saturn scurries the ring after he hits that cutter.
Or tries to, tries to.
Yeah, he bumbles out of there. But then eventually later in the match, Devon's laid out. Saturn, again, broken leg, goes to the top rope.
Dude.
Hits an elbow drop from the top rope onto Devon. Pins him. 1, 2, 3.
How do you get up there? I have no idea.
I don't. I guess as far as moves go, I guess.
And honestly, he flew. Like for somebody on one leg.
Yeah.
You know,
a great elbow drop is Perry Saturn.
Dude,
so
that's what I'm saying. Like none of that should even work. You know, even if you're faking it with the cast.
Right. Tough to get up there and to fly off like he did. Yeah, it's amazing.
Dude, crazy, man. Shout out to Perry Saturn.
But the Eliminators retained the titles, but Perry Saturn's leg's still fucking broken. What are we doing?
See, why Perry Saturn should have ran with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a tag team champion with a broken freaking leg.
That's what he should have done when he came up with the Radicals, right? Instead of Moppy.
Instead of the Moppy. Broken freaking leg.
What could have been? What could have been? But yeah, weird. I don't know where they go from here. I don't know why they wouldn't just have this in the middle of the show somewhere.
Yeah, they should have switched it. Like the whole Taz thing, that should have been the main event.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know?
How do you?
And this should have came after Raven and Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't mind that. Although the aftermath of the Raven.
Oh
Dreamer
yeah,
match
because then you got that whole. Then this should have came after Terry Funk. Then
I think this should have been before Raven Dreamer. So yeah, after Terry Funk, Candido.
Yeah, after Pitbulls and
and FBI. It should have been maybe just a part of that match.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe the FBI should have main evented, I think is what we're saying.
with pit bulls? Maybe.
That's how you send the crowd home happy, I think. But yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with this. Like, do the Eliminators just keep defending the titles
with one leg? We'll see.
Who knows? But well, that brings ECW Wrestlepalooza 1997 to a close. So are you sticking with 7.5 out of 10?
You know what?
I mean, you can. You're allowed to.
I'm gonna raise it. I think I'm gonna raise it. 7.7.
Ooh, come on now. 0.2 Jones over here.
And the 0.7 goes to the simple fact that you and I were both thinking of Taz's crotch.
Both thinking of this?
There you go.
Is this what you're referring to?
Look at that.
I feel like I'm getting hit.
We have the meats. Survive if your jaw lets you.
Seamless. Well, speaking of eating meat, I would unhinge my jaw to gobble up the GETCHO podcast every week. And I do. Appreciate you, Juss, once again, making the time to watch a little wrestling show. Come on.
Of course.
Talk about it. Where can everybody find your beautiful face, listen to your beautiful voice, and taste your beautiful thighs?
Thank you for all that. I'm speechless, but you can find me at Get Your Podcast on Twitter, Get Your Podcast on Instagram. For all the video, and we are live Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Central Time on the Circle Debate Network YouTube channel. So follow them as well. They have a watch along every day for every show, sometimes even on Saturdays. So Circle Debate Network, YouTube, you'll catch me, the guys, Redeemer, Ivan. They'll be doing all their shows. We're on Wednesday after their Dynamite watch along. You know, me, Vince, Garn, be doing our things. This past one, it's probably already aired. It's the top breakups, you know what I'm saying, of WWE. Since apparently we've been broken up from John Cena. So yeah, also follow Marks and Mike's, Coach of Class, Powerbomb G2, you know, the homies.
Shout out. Yeah, lots of good
people
out there.
Shout out you as well, man.
Oh, come on. Stop it.
You know?
I mean, this is the last episode of the Apron Bump, so I might as well get the flowers. Or maybe not. Maybe I just lean into it. Maybe we just go MAGA right with this and just
listen. The unwoken season has begun. You know.
I guess. I don't know. It's the pendulum swinging the other way. Maybe. So maybe we just lean into. Maybe we try to work a master faggot into every episode going forward, even when it doesn't make sense.
A ranking, even though it doesn't need to. Even though it
top 10 tier list. We'll workshop that. You'll be the S tier one though.
There you go.
Once again, thank you to Juss from the GETCHO podcast for joining me on this show. Always a good time with Juss. Go check out the GETCHO podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. YouTube, Twitch, Tout, Periscope, all that stuff. Hey, you know what we got to do is hit that jingle, Bartholomew. WCW, ECW, WWF, who's the hardest promotion? Eric or Vince or Paulie? I think we can agree, though. Heck, Meyers is the shit. Alrighty then. The hardest promotion battle of 1997 continues. WWF versus WCW versus ECW. We got a lot going on here. We got the overall scoreboard here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can watch through this visually, but if you're listening on audio, I'll walk you through it as well. Basically, we got this overall scoreboard. We look at the overall like best pay-per-views, TV, in-ring, out-of-ring. And then we got two more sections. We got one section labeled the best, and then another section labeled the worst. Each of those sections have a match, wrestler, character / storyline, and segment. So we look at the best and the worst. At this point in time in 1997, I always forget to look up the fucking date of these shows. As of June 8th, 1997, right? June 8th? Am I right? Fuck! That's unnecessary. As of June 6th? Wait. Conflicting dates here, whatever. As of early June 1997. So we're not taking into account anything that happens after that. We're not taking into account things that happen later in the year. We're just as if we were watching live in real time. We're going to look at this. So the first thing is a lot to get into. Overall, WCW is in the lead with 34 points. ECW is in second with 15 points. WWF in last with 9 points. But we can see major swings here. We'll get into what exactly the points are and what dictates them. But first things first, we got to grade this show because that'll feed into one of the criteria of highest average pay-per-view grade or super show grade. You know what I mean. Wrestlepalooza, from a scale of 0 to 100. What are we thinking? I think it's a good show. I think it's one of the highest of the year. I think it's the highest ECW show of the year. So let's just put that into account. So barely legal got a 76. CyberSlam got a 70. Crossing the Line Again got a 72. 76. Is it higher than? I think it's higher than 76. I'm thinking maybe 80. Maybe even higher than that. I think like 82, dude. Like, it's a good show. Like, it's ECW at its most raw form. It's not a perfect show, but I think that ending, like, back half is just great shit, dude. Like, the first half is kind of whatever. Nothing really bad, though. I mean, I don't know, 81. Is that more fair? I think 82 works, dude. I really enjoyed watching this show. It made me feel things, dude. Right in my undercarriage. All right. And that, as of right now, is the best show of either company throughout the year so far. But what matters is the highest average grade. And this puts ECW, I believe they were already in the lead. But this extends the lead. ECW has an average grade of 75. WCW 72.2. WWF has a 63. So we go back to the overall scoreboard. Like I said, ECW maintains this criteria, so they maintain those 15 points. So now we move on to best TV, just in general, best TV product. We are tracking WCW as the best currently. You know, I don't know, man. WCW is slipping a little bit as far as I'm concerned. It is just a lot of squash matches right now with some NWO stuff happening in the background, which it was working, from a ratings perspective, it was working. WWF. Does WWF slide in here? I don't know. Not WWF doesn't have a lot of great stuff. Like the Bret and Austin, Bret and Austin stuff is great. Shawn Michaels stuff is good. I don't know. Now ECW, it's a weird one because hardcore TV is such a weird, like, it's like clips from not non-televised. It's like clips from like the non-super shows. So it's kind of like parsed together in a weird way. And there's some good promos in there. But is it enough to make it the best TV product right now? Ultimately, I think WCW on average still has the best. By a smidge. So WCW holds on to those 15 points. Now we look at the best in-ring product among these companies. Who has the best in-ring, bell-to-bell stuff? Comparing like ECW to the other two companies is a little tough because ECW did the ECW thing really well this show. But we also got to take into account the rest of the year, right? We're not just looking at like this show in a vacuum. We're looking at the totality of these 6 months so far. I think on average, WCW is still the best. I think, yeah. WCW hold on to those 10 points, best out of ring. WCW. Is it though? Is it? We're tracking WCW right now. ECW is starting to get good again, man. You know what? I don't know if we're quite there yet. I can see ECW overtaking this eventually, though. I don't think they're quite there yet as of this point in time. However, I could see that happening sometime in the future. So we'll leave it as WCW, but we'll keep an eye on it going forward. All right, so now we move to the section labeled the best match. We are tracking Brett and Austin, WrestleMania 13. Look, Raven and Tommy Dreamer was fucking awesome here. If we had like a top 3 list here, I think that might get on there. I don't think it's number 1 though. Brett Austin it's going in the Hall of Fame for a reason, man. I know it's cliche at this point, but it is such a goddamn good match, and it's gonna be tough for any match to knock that off. So we'll leave it as Brett and Austin. So WWF holds on to those 5 points. Best wrestler as of this point in time this year. We're tracking Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you're unfamiliar. Who from this show that we just covered would give him a run for his money? Taz? RVD? Shane Douglas? I think Stone Cold still holds on to this. He's gonna because he's had good matches and he's a great character that's exploding at this point. It's gonna be another one that's gonna be hard to beat. I think DDP is the only one that could hold a candle to him at this point, though. Taz is in the mix too. I don't think he's quite there though. So I think WWF holds on to this with Stone Cold. Best character / storyline. We're tracking the Hart Foundation. Actually, let me skip that one I'll come right back to that. We're going to go to best segment because I think this might kind of tie in. Best segment of the year, we're tracking Diamond Cutter to Scott Hall on WCW Nitro. That is no more. No more. It is now, this 5 points goes from WCW to ECW. Best segment of the year, Jerry Lawler. I'll just put Jerry Lawler Wrestlepalooza, and we'll all know what that means. The Jerry Lawler segment from this show, man, I can't overstate how wild that was. How well executed it was. The crowd was so into it. It worked, man. It was just so good. And it kicked off. I don't know if it kicked off, but it like facilitated. It gave new life to like RVD and Sabu and Bill Alfonso, like that whole regime. Adding Jerry Lawler to the mix. I mean, RVD is like public enemy number 1. And he plays his role well. Bill Alfonso's like this whole thing that's going on. Now, is that better as a character / storyline? Because we've already solidified segment and character are different criteria here. The segment of Jerry Lawler showing up, we've solidified that is the best so far. But as a character / storyline, is this whole Jerry Lawler, RVD, Tommy Dreamer, whatever the hell, is this better than what the Hart Foundation is doing right now? Or is it better than what the NWO? I think it's better than the NWO right now. But is it better than what the Hart Foundation is? You know what? I think it might be, dude. I think it might be. Is it though? Man, shit. Also, like the Taz and Shane Douglas stuff is pretty sick too. You could just throw Taz in here as the best character. I honestly, because that kind of feeds into the RVD stuff too. Do we just replace this with Taz? You know what? I think we do. Because mind you, the Hart Foundation as a faction haven't done a lot of stuff in ring. They've had some promos, but that's pretty much it. So we're going to change this to Taz as well, man. Or it's going to be ECW as well. So they take those 5 points away from WWF. And all of a sudden, ECW is creeping up. Not quite in the lead yet, but they're creeping up. WCW has 29, ECW has 25. And WWF with 4. So now we move on to the worst section. The worst match of the year, Undertaker versus Sid, WrestleMania 13. Yep, that stays. Worst wrestler of the year, Prince Iaukea. Yeah, no one on this show would overtake that, in my opinion. So Prince can stay. Worst character / storyline, Hockey Talk Man, Billy Gunn, Double J. Yeah, that stays as well. Worst segment, Miss NWO. Yep, that stays. I think that's all pretty cut and dry. Like I said, this show that we just covered, there wasn't a lot of bad on it, and not nearly bad enough to be considered the worst of the year. So with that about does it. That's where we stand after Wrestlepalooza. The score as it stands. Like I mentioned, WCW in the lead still with 29, but that lead has been cut down. ECW is in second with 25, only trailing by 4. Speaking of 4, those are all the points WWF has. So still got half a year left. I think maybe even more than half a year in terms of like amount of shows. So a lot can change, but that's where we stand as of this moment in time. And that is that. Take a look at this. Do you disagree? Do you agree? Leave a comment on, if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, you can leave comments on Spotify or join the Discord. Let's talk about it. Is there something I'm omitting? Is there something I'm overlooking? Is there something that I'm over focused on? Maybe. Who knows? Let me know. Holla at me. Holler if you hear me, as they say. But wow, I think that's about all Daddy has for you guys today. Appreciate you guys tuning in, listening, watching, tasting, and all of that stuff. Like, rate, review, poke, prod, bite, slurp. Do all those things to support the podcast. But I appreciate all you do regardless. So with that, I'll love you. I'll leave you. Y'all have a blessed day. Mwah.
Yeah.
I'm hard.
The hardest, talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started. It's the hardest, talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it.